Hello everyone, today I play Cognition episode 2, The Wise Monkey, with developer commentary, and I will try to skip some stuff. I will try to skip not too much, but just so that the game doesn't get too long. Also, just advise that you play the game normally without commentary first, because there will be spoilers. And I think that's about it. Just like I did a playthrough with developer commentary for episode 1, this one for episode 2. And this time they give you some instructions. Use the command key if you're using a keyboard for quick switching in and out of director's cut mode. Okay, if I don't forget. Yeah, we recommend you access this content after playing through the game. There will be spoilers. Indeed. Alright, let's do this.
Previously on Cognition. We've got to find the Kane killer before he hurts Scott. Scotty died 3 years ago.
Come on, Skippy. Davies will have our asses if we don't show up 10 minutes ago.
Reed, we're paying for the damn cell phone so that you take the call when I ring you. Is that clear?
White male, cause of death, strangulation.
They're getting worse.
I told you to go see someone about that.
I know when people need healing and how to help them heal.
Cordelia? Someone I met today. She knows you. I stole a flower from her brother's grave. I need that package. It may provide clues to an ongoing investigation. Anthony Longmore was a killer.
But if this piece of shit was murdered last night, then who killed him? We make a good team, don't we?
It's Davies. She's a target. Sully, John, suspect is on the run. And I found Davies.
Hello, welcome to episode 2, The Wise Monkey of Cognition. I'm Katie Hallahan.
And I'm Cesar Ritar.
We'll be adding some fun director commentary for you as you play.
McAdams sure got here fast.
DC's only a 2-hour flight.
I know, but that doesn't mean I like it. It wasn't exactly solve cases in rainbows for me when he used to be our director.
How are you holding up? What happened at the meeting house was...
I don't want to talk about it, Sully. I'm about to go over it again with McAdams, and I just want to break for a few minutes.
Yeah, okay. If you want to, though, well, you know. What do you want to talk about?
I remember that there was some talking about making the first sequence a bit of an interaction where you had to touch something, like you had to enter a power, just because we wanted to make sure that you understood that this was actually a vision from Cordelia and not something that was happening or that Erica was seeing, right? Because this is pretty much what it is.
Yeah, we talked about that and adding an effect to it so that was clear. Although then we ended up just saying, 6 hours earlier on it when we go back to the office anyways.
Yeah, we just decided to make it easy and we just 6 hours earlier. And that's basically what's happening here. That's a vision that Cordelia is having.
Interesting. Let's say thanks for your help.
Thanks for your help earlier.
Anytime. Hey, you need help, I'm your man. It was nothing.
It wasn't nothing, Sully. I appreciated it.
Like I said, we're a good team.
Yeah, we're not bad.
I remember we had a design fight over this conversation in particular. So long.
Yep.
No.
There was usually one last additional conversation they had that I wanted to keep and Cesar wanted to cut because it was too much, and we ended up kind of condensing the selection of them into, like, it was 4 and into 3 instead. And also, we kind of got to use this conversation to sort of cover some details you needed to know. Like, Sully mentions his case, they mentioned McAdams, who was brought up in the first episode, and now he's going to show up in person, and get a little bit of the flirtation and the jokes between them, set up Sully's personality a little more.
How's your case going?
This thing's a piece of work. Sicko going out there and cutting out people's eyes, their ears, and their tongues. I'm calling her the wise monkey.
Cute. Her?
Yeah, there was a partial fingerprint on one of these little charms, like from a bracelet, that were left at the crime scenes. Came back matching the prints from this missing girl. Plus, she used to take lessons from the latest victim, a retired opera singer. Pretty vicious stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm trying not to let anything surprise me anymore.
So Erica and Sully, in the first episode, we established that they have a bit of a romantic connection, but it's sort of an uneven thing, a little off and on, mostly on Erica's behalf, because she has some issues with her powers being not quite in her control and the emotional wall she has, so she often kind of pushes Sully away, which he is obviously trying to, he keeps asking her to go out to lunch, and she keeps dodging the question more or less, even when she's not being mean to him about it. So in this episode, since it was going to be a lot about Sully and trying to save him, we wanted to set up a conversation here with them in the beginning where you see Erica kind of, she's been controlling her powers more, coming to terms with a few more things, so she's trying to be a little more open about pursuing something with him.
Okay, so there's something written here, but it's barely readable. Beacon Sully. Okay.
And here's the first branch you can take in episode 2. Most of them are kind of stockpiled towards the beginning, and they just affect how this situation plays out, mostly in the office here. Whether or not you take the drugged coffee is one of them, then the next ones quickly follow with McAdams and how you act in that conversation.
Really? I remember having differences with the McAdams conversation. Now, John gets a little too excited about the coffee. Wow. Okay.
How you been lately? We haven't talked much in a few weeks.
Yeah, that'll happen when you don't return my calls.
Sorry about that. It's not that I don't like you, Sully. I do. It's just not something I can talk about. Yet.
I get it, Erica. Everyone's got secrets and baggage and shit. I've got mine. Hell, we're FBI. It's practically part of the job requirements.
Not to mention one of the job risks.
Why don't we grab a drink after we're done here?
Sully, it's 2 a.m. All the bars are closed.
There's always beer in my fridge. What do you say? Toss back some Sam Adams and bitch about Sam McAdams?
It would be fitting. and I could use a beer after the day I've had.
Hi. I heard y'all had some night owls in need of coffee up here.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
thanks.
said
Sounds good.
I could use the beer after the day
Here
I've
you are,
had,
darling.
so maybe she would take it.
How about you, hun?
Alright, this time I'm going to...
So,
I think that the one that we're seeing, also Erica took the coffee.
yeah. I liked doing that because it seems like such an innocuous, innocent thing. Like, oh, hey, coffee? Yeah, sure, coffee sounds good. You know, and little do you know. And that's also actually why we don't show Tess's head in that shot, for two reasons. I mean, one, it's the same Tess model, even though it's intended to be Cordelia in disguise here. So we didn't show her face. And it was also kind of the idea of, you know, she seems to be a person who isn't important to the scene that's going on, so Erica's not really paying attention to her.
Okay, makes sense. So this time I'm going to refuse and show her what happens. Actually, I don't remember myself either. Not exactly at least.
No, thanks. I'm jittery enough. You the new office assistant?
That's me. Just started last week. My name's Tess. Let's see. Y'all must be Erica.
They must have told you about the hair, huh?
Only redhead in the building.
You're up, Red. I'll see you kids in the morning. After later today. God damn, it's late.
Oof. Good luck, Erica.
Thanks.
Special Agent Reed.
Director?
It's late and I'm not interested in wasting time. How the hell is Davies dead and her killer not apprehended?
I tried. I fired at the killer. The bastard just kept dodging.
Dodging bullets? This isn't a comic book, Agent.
I'm telling you what I saw, Director. I fired, and the killer never got hit. If you have any doubts about my aim, just talk to the guys at the shooting range.
Why did the killer choose the Old South Meeting Hall?
And here we meet McAdams, whom I love, but I don't think anybody else does. Everyone thinks he's such an ass. The intention all along with him is that he is, but he has good reasons to be an ass towards Erica. Because she's kind of a pain to deal with, as we discussed.
Yeah. And I think that I read about some people saying, well, Davis is an ass, and so now Davis is gone, and then we get this guy who's even a bigger ass.
Yeah.
But McAdams is a guy that plays by the book.
Yeah, exactly. He plays by the book that works for him, and, you know, he's coming into this situation where his colleague and friend has been killed. You know, something is going crazy here.
Okay, more art masterpieces. Alright. Last time I actually screwed up at one point, which wasn't intentional on my regular playthrough. I don't know, what should I do here? Maybe give order of answers, or try to. I don't even remember what he said, but you know, this is the wrong one.
Because it was empty. The renovations kept the place closed. It was a good place to set things up undisturbed.
Oh,
Sure
yes,
about that?
Why
IT recovered an
the
email from
chose
Davies'
the-
inbox talking about Judge Samuel Sewell. I could tell you about him, but I'm not going to do your job.
Oh, really?
Right, I saw that too, but I'm telling you.
That email was in Madison's
Oh,
inbox.
she says that anyway.
What were you doing snooping around in here, Agent?
It's kind of
Okay.
interesting, whereas with the conversations with Davies in episode 1, some variations came up depending on if you got the answers right or not. That actually doesn't affect how things change with McAdams here. The change comes with whether Erica decides to cop an attitude with him or not.
Yeah. We used to have more of that. Episode
Yeah.
2 was heavily revised to make it shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some choices that would affect some of the stuff with McAdams, right?
Yeah, we were going to have it change if you were an ass to him here when you needed him to sign something later. He was gonna not sign it because you were putting up an attitude. But whereas if you're nicer to him here, he would agree to it right away. But just for time reasons mostly, we had to cut that.
The puzzle involving the signing the papers. I remember that it was a little bit more involving.
It was because there was also a whole section that got cut that involved there was actually a whole storyline that was cut from episode 2, which involved basically following the drugs that you find in the parking lot, and it was going to be you follow that and it leads you to the name of a drug dealer, and you end up setting up a sting with him, and you can get Robert's help.
Robert Goodman from episode 1.
Yeah, Robert Goodman's help in that. And you could actually end up getting Robert killed, possibly, from that. But because we needed to make it smaller, because we didn't have the time to develop all of that, we had to decide what to cut.
The whole drugstore line got away. And we say that we were going to go back to it eventually and try to bring it back. And that's why that was the origin of the Stelios.
Yeah, the sting operation in
episode 4, yeah.
Because we liked that idea of her having to play undercover.
I know I shouldn't have, but Davies was missing. I had to do something to find her.
I don't need to tell you to never let it happen again. Now, tell me what you know about this mess.
Someone was in communication with Davies, telling her things about Anthony Longmore, the hangman. She wrote it off as a kook, but when he showed up dead, she looked back into it.
So first this person was helping her, then hunting her?
He got angry when she didn't listen, but the threat was always there. If Davies had followed up on the leads, she would have seen that she was a target.
What have you got to prove this?
Here, the facts pointed to the post office and a piece of the Le Pendu, and those scraps from a picture of Davies.
So, if it wasn't Goodman getting revenge on Longmore, then who was it?
I don't know yet, but I'm not going to stop until I find out.
You? I don't think so, Agent. You're not on this case.
I thought you'd say that. Let me guess. I'm too close?
Got it in 1. I'm surprised to hear it from you, though. I expected you'd pitch another fit like you did with Kane. I'm glad to see you've learned better.
That was different. It was my brother, McAdams. I'm not as close on this case.
Spare me. I've heard it before. The fact is, your performance ever since then has been sporadic at best.
Sporadic?
Don't get too upset. It happens to the best agents after a loss like that. But it's been 3 years, Erica, and your performance is all over the place. Some cases you're solving almost before the ink dries on the evidence reports. Others are getting drawn out far too long. You need to get your shit together. I can't risk this in the hands of someone who isn't consistent.
This is bullshit. I remember what I answered last time. I don't even remember these answers, but oh well.
This is bullshit! After...
What was that?
Where's Sully? Holy shit! That earring! Shit, that's Sully's. Where is he?
I'll check the front.
It wasn't really by choice. It was just what happened, that you got the most gruesome serial killer in the whole series.
Yep, it's kind of how that worked out.
Yeah, it sort of worked out that way because nobody really say, "Oh, that's the wise monkey. I want that one." Yeah, it was mostly about, well, okay, I'll do the first one, do this the next one, and then we keep working on them. This guy being so gruesome, how do you deal with like all that stuff? Like, oh, let's cut Sully's ear here and have the eel just...
So Sully actually was originally 3 different characters. One of them was named Sully, and then there were 2 other guys. And it was going to be that Erica goes in to talk to the boss, and when she comes out, one is missing his eyes, one is missing his ears, and one is missing his tongue.
Wow.
We ended up condensing it, one because fewer models to worry about, and also just fewer characters. It's like, well, rather than have all that, let's invest it all into one character so we don't have to try and make people care about all three of these guys. Let's have the one guy.
Was that something that we decided to do, or was that something that was in some feedback from Jane?
I think it was our decision to cut that down to just the one character. And it also made it a little more feasible anyways, because rather than like these three guys all being drugged at the same time and none of them being able to act, if you only have one person you're worrying about, it makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
So yeah, the Wise Monkey Killer was pretty gruesome. I didn't really go, looking up much details of like, how does one cut an eye out of a face? Because that's gross and I didn't want to read about that. And instead I just tried to go more into figuring out what the motives of this person would be. Part of the reason you spend so much of this episode thinking that the killer is female was to introduce that idea of a female serial killer, because Cordelia is the Oracle and, essentially is a female serial killer. So to get away from the idea of these bad guys are all going to be men. Of course it does turn out to be, but I enjoyed playing with the twist on that as well.
Alright. Now let's go into this spot.
Sully's ear. She cut his fucking ear off. He just dropped it. A silver jewelry charm, shaped like a guitar.
But this also reminds me, I'm gonna be having fun torturing Sally at the end of this episode. See what happens.
They must have gone down the fire exit stairs.
Okay. Well,
There were a lot of comments, and I heard in some Let's Plays people asking, why haven't they cleaned up this blood stain on the carpet yet over by Erica's desk? Because yes, it's pretty gross, and they probably would, but the reason is because there is a vision on that you need to see to have some clues, and it's possible you wouldn't have looked at it.
Really?
Also, there's a charm in there.
And the charm is also close up, and if you haven't collected that by now, you need that.
Plus, we're still in the middle of the investigation at this point, and so
it's all of an hour after this has all happened.
Yeah, this is it hasn't been like an hour, so they'll clean it up. They actually clean. They do
eventually,
yeah.
After you leave, when you're done with your research, when you come back later on, that's gone. They did at least pick up the ear and put that on ice somewhere. So yes, Sully will have his ear back eventually. Just not his eye. He'll get to wear a dashing, awesome pirate eye patch from now on if we see him again in the future. So.
A lot of people like episode 2 a lot because, episode 1 works more as an origin story, and it does have a case, but the case it plays out differently. It's more emotional. It's more about one man and using your power to find that one man. Episode 2 feels more like detective work, like you're doing a lot of research. There's a full case that has been laid out before you, that somebody has been working on for a long while, and there are like different cases, and then you have to put all these pieces together. And a lot of people love that aspect of episode 2.
I had fun putting the real detective, quote unquote real detective work in it, but kind of, and also the fact that you have to read so much now, it sort of reflected that paying attention to these details was very important, and that especially comes up later on at the end of the episode in the quiz, where yes, exactly, like the idea of being you have to pay attention, and that's sort of one of Cordelia's points to of sort of her way of saying, like that Erica is better at this than her colleagues because she does pay attention to these small details, and there are things that the other people have missed.
Okay. Regardless, I'm going to torture Sully at the end of this episode. Oh, there's someone over here.
So the conversations with John in this episode are actually optional, but we wanted to keep them in there since we weren't gonna get to explore and travel with him later on in the episode at all. They check in at one later point, but I wanted to keep those in there so you keep that relationship going.
Yeah.
And if she goes to him, she's basically asking for advice, and he kind of nudges the player in the right direction.
Yeah, especially because in this episode we sort of get away from John. I mean, even in the first episode, after the prologue, John wasn't there anymore, or after the crime scene. But in this one, I think that he's still investigating Davy's murder. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. The idea is that he is on the Davies murder case. We made a number of mentions early on, I think in this episode, in episode 1, about, there have been budget cuts and there's some people on vacation and so forth. But it was also, Erica's working on her own for this. And it's intentional also because she's kind of getting increasingly isolated as the game goes on.
Wait, there is more? Let's see over here maybe? Nope. Okay, maybe I'll have to come back later.
A blood smear. Sully!
Whoa. I was
need to act
supposed to. Okay, I was just sitting here watching the cutscene. Alright. I'm actually still not sure what I'm supposed to do.
So coming into the parking lot running, this is a variation. You can come here and have to deal with the car that's racing to get away, or it's already gone. But I like the version where you have to deal with the car because it's sort of like a small little quick time event, and you have a couple options. You can shoot at them, you can jump out of the way, or you can just stand there and get hit by the car.
Yeah, I was looking at the Steam achievements, and the jumping out of the way is the least of all episode 2 achievements that has been unlocked.
I would imagine because you have to have first, chosen to not drink the coffee, and then additionally you've got the choice of shoot, stand, or roll out of the way.
Yeah, and then when the mouse comes in, the first thing you already have the arrow on top of the car.
Yeah.
It's the most natural thing is that you're gonna try to shoot the car.
Yep, shoot the car. And in justifying, why you can potentially die here, is because whereas Cordelia's in control in the Old South Meeting House and being able to shoot at you without hitting Erica, here she's driving a car and
you get in the way.
Expects you to get out of the way. So if you don't, that's a split-second decision that goes down a bad path.
Yeah.
She foreshadows wrongly. Okay. Well, the constructions are supposed to be really good, so it's natural that Cordelia would expect her to get out of the way.
God damn it! I need to get after them.
Yeah, good luck with that.
What the? My tires are freaking slashed! Damn it!
Damn it! Okay, so this tire is
McAdams, they're
very,
gone.
very different.
Took off in a dark sedan. Because the bitch slashed my tires, that's why. Yeah, I'm on.
You're on what?
Son of a... Ah!
This is the same vision that you see in episode 1, but obviously, as you know what happens at the end of episode 3, so this was important to
keep coming back
If there's a parallel to Gabriel Knight, is this the same dream that Gabriel keeps having over and over and over. In this case, though, it ends up being a red herring for what really happens.
Mm-hmm.
Again? What is that?
So if you drank the coffee, Erica stumbles out in time to see Sully getting kidnapped and having his ear cut off in the office. Whereas if you didn't drink it, then you just hear a noise basically coming from him being in the process of being kidnapped, and you get out there after the fact. And you find, the remnants of that. And that affects in the parking lot if you're there. If you didn't drink the coffee, then you get out there in time to see the car coming at you. And if you did drink it, you're passed out for that. So by the time you go down there, the car has already left. So Erica's trunk, actually, there were a few other items that we were going to put in here so that it wasn't simply go to a place and the only thing there is conveniently the thing you need. We had some other various trunk items, but modeling those, since they weren't priority, they ended up getting cut. Oh, and we were going to have the lockpicks work on the trunk of the other car. That ended up also getting cut just due to time for animations that we didn't have. So for everyone who thinks, hey, this should work here, yes, you're right, it should have, and it was meant to, but some things just end up being cut because you don't have time or budget or whatever it is.
You blame that on me.
Cesar's fault. Blame Cesar. He's the reason the lockpicks don't work here.
Oh well.
My spare tire. I paid extra for a full tire. Not that it helps when all 4 of mine are slashed. Hello? Is someone in there? What the hell? Hang on, I'll get you out.
Oh, I wonder. Nope, no visions.
Come on. Come on. Got it. Tess? You're not... Hang on, I'll get you out of there.
I feel kind of bad for Tess. She just started this job and she gets drugged and locked in her trunk in like her first week. I'm pretty sure she quit the force after this. This is not what she signed up for.
Well, maybe she didn't. Who knows? Should expect probably stuff like this happening.
Tess, how are you feeling?
Jumpy as a frog. What happened?
We're trying to find out.
Okay, I'll be right back. And I'm back. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, show. Yep. That happens sometimes.
The interrogation room with Tess. So this is the only time you're talking to the real Tess, which I think came up a little bit confusing for some people. They were trying to figure out, wait, isn't this the lady who just drugged this guy, and shouldn't I be interrogating her a little more harshly? When no, it's the fact is she had already been drugged and then locked into that trunk by the time any of those things happened.
Didn't we find in the trunk like a week?
Yeah, there was. I think that was as part of the longer storyline about the drugs. There was going to be a bag of drugs in the trunk with her, and there was also going to be some hairs caught on the building pass that she had stolen, which you would find out later were hairs from a wig, and they weren't actual hairs. Sort of leading to this was someone in disguise story. But again, got cut since we didn't have the time to deal with all of those things.
I don't know why we didn't leave, like, we should have probably left a week, like, somewhere so that you knew that it was a different person. Because, I mean, at this point you knew that it was definitely a different person.
Yeah.
Can I get you anything?
Just get this over with so I can go home, please.
Tell me what you remember.
I got off work and I came out here. I was stepping over to my car and someone asked if I had dropped something. I started to turn around and then she blew this powder in my face and oh, I don't know. I can't remember past that.
You're all right, Tess. You're safe now. Did she have a southern accent too?
No, she sounded like she was from around here.
What did she look like?
She had blonde hair and a long coat, I think. I didn't see her face. I'm sorry.
Any other details? What kind of build? How tall?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Maybe your height, sort of average build?
Maybe your heart, maybe it was you.
Tess, the woman who did this is a suspect in a serial killer case. Don't worry, you aren't the target. You were just a way to get in the building. But she's taken another agent hostage, and we need to know everything so we can find him.
Oh, Lord. Mama said this job was a bad idea. I should have listened. I'll help, but I don't know what I can tell you.
Can you give me a minute, Tess? I need to review some facts.
All right, but not too long. I'm sorry, I just really want to get home.
Of course.
Review some facts.
This is such a good game. No time to play, unfortunately. And I just downloaded episode 5.
Oh, no remarks about this?
I don't need to look at my calendar right now.
Okay.
Tess, thanks for staying for this. I know it'll be tough, but I need for you to think about what happened and remember as many details as possible.
I'll try, Agent.
So this is where we have our first use of the simplified version of regression, which is just for strictly looking at someone's memories and trying to find the correct one. Because in this case, I wanted to devote more time to the some other bigger puzzles in the episode. So this one didn't need to be as involved as a regression puzzle as the one for Robert in episode 1.
What did that woman put in her pocket? Tess, would you check your pockets for me?
My pockets? All right. It's not mine, I swear. How did you know?
Call it a hunch. And don't worry, I know it's not yours.
How do you get the idea of using the charms?
So the charms came from introducing the new power of synergy, which is the one that you can use on your inventory items, and it comes from the idea of you add, more items together that have a connection, and you can get a bigger memory from them. You only have a few pieces of the puzzle, so you need to get all of them so that you can see the whole picture. So the easiest way to do that was, you get a charm bracelet and the various charms on it, and the memory becomes more and more clear the more of them you have.
Right.
And it made for kind of an easy, egg hunt, if you will, during the episode, is that you're looking for these particular things and they're adding to what you're seeing.
Tell me what you remember.
I got off work and I came
Wait,
out here.
what?
I was stepping over to my car and someone asked if I had dropped something. I started to turn around and then she blew this powder in my face and
Okay.
oh, I don't know. I can't remember past that.
You're all right, Tess. You're safe now.
Interesting.
And at the very end of this scene, just before it cuts to black, is the first instance of our favorite bug, the rotating boobs. Which poor Tess did not quite avoid.
And it's literally rotating.
Yeah, that's all, yeah. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we fade out so quickly there when I think she's kind of still talking. She's like, oh crap, we can't see those. Gotta cut before we see those.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying to talk to me, Tess.
I'm sorry I wasn't more help.
Everything helps narrow it down. Get yourself checked out at the hospital. Someone will give you a ride there. And if you do think of anything, give me a call.
I will. Oh, I'm sorry. I never got your name.
Erica Reed.
Someone was looking for you. Her name was Cordelia? You weren't in when she came by and everything was all crazy with what happened to Director Davies. I took down her number and left it with Gwen when I got off my shift.
Thanks. I'll get it from her.
I don't think this job is for me after all. This is all just too much, but good luck with your case.
Take care, Tess.
Okay, so let's see. What else is there? Yes.
Sully's desk. I had fun describing the various things on here to kind of, show the kind of guy Sully was. He loves all the Boston sports teams. He's got a big family. He's very open and warm with them. And kind of, even though Erica also has a picture of her family on her desk, it's the only picture she has is of her brother who's died. It's a different sort of connection to family that he has then.
In episode 1, we were gonna add at one point a picture of Erica's dad and Scott, and that was inside the desk.
Oh,
yeah, and we ended up cutting that again because we didn't have time to do it.
Yeah.
But it was also to go with the idea that yes, she has this family, but she doesn't want to be looking at it, and so she puts it on the desk. And with Scott, it's different because
she's so focused on finding his killer.
Yeah.
This is where Tess sat. What's wrong? You look out of sorts.
I don't know what I'm going to do. We've got missing evidence. I think it was that woman who took Sully.
What did she steal?
Evidence from...
Jasper. Tess told me she took down a phone number for me and gave it to you.
Right, I forgot all about it. Here you go.
Yep, and I forgot to skip conversations.
Thank you, Gwen.
Anytime.
Okay, so let's combine the wrong number with the right cell phone.
We are sorry. The number you have reached has been disconnected or is no longer in service. Please check the number and dial again.
Tess must have written it down wrong. Maybe I can use my powers to find the right one. There's something there, but I can't get a fix on it. I need to do some more research first. There should be evidence from the Wise Monkey case on file. I should check it out before I go.
Okay, so I actually do not remember how to solve this. I think I have to
Wrong number. Maybe Rose can help me with this.
go to. Oh, I have to go to Rose first. Okay. Yeah, because then I'll have to use the new power. Alright,
This is Sully's
check
desk.
Sully's desk. Or not. How about check with McAdams? Nothing here, and powers? Nope.
McAdams?
Agent Reed?
Tess.
It wasn't Tess. She was drugged and locked up in her car before anything happened up here.
Shit. Does she remember anything about the person who came at her?
Nothing too useful. Sir, given what was done to Sully and the case he was working on, I really believe that...
The Wise Monkey. I thought of that too. I've told IT to get you access to his computer. Get on his computer and find whatever info on this you can.
Abduction isn't part of the MO. She's gotten bolder. Something must have changed for her.
Find out what. Wise Monkey is your case now, Agent Reed. Find Agent Sullivan as soon as possible.
I'll get back to it.
See that you do.
Okay, hey, the donuts are still here. Let's talk, let's see. Let's talk to John.
McCoy?
Red?
So, McAdams hasn't changed a bit. How long do you think he'll stay?
Probably just until Davies' murder is solved.
Well, considering how fast he got out of here after Scott died.
The top brass says go.
You almost make him sound like a half-decent guy.
He doesn't have your spirit, Skippy, but...
No promises. Are you still on Davy's case? Didn't stop her from being killed. I'm gonna do every...
You didn't kill her, Erica.
I know. What do you know about the Wise Monkey case?
Sully was working it and now he's part of...
Yeah, and I'd like to fix that so...
Same as you, Red. I know what's on the file. If you're looking for where to start...
I'm going to go back to my work.
Go get him, Red.
This place is a mess.
Also on Sully's desk is the requisite Easter egg of the Suffer, which is the stress ball here. The Suffer comes from a joke a long time ago in our forums of the idea, you know, he's anytime someone would ask a question that would be a spoiler answer, Cesar started using that one because it was just laughing at you. Our saying now is the sufferer is laughing because he knows something that you do not know.
Yes. So Katie's mission is to make sure that the sufferer is in every game that we make.
Every game. If you've played The Silver Lining, you know the sufferer shows up in every single episode.
In Cognition, he only
doesn't show up in episode
2.
1, actually. You know, only in episode 2 of Cognition, but I figure that counts for the whole game.
Let's see what you got.
So in the Wise Monkey case folders, have some of the really grossest pictures.
Let me tell you, nothing like waking up in the morning, half asleep to review this stuff.
Artwork of someone who has no eyes and no tongue and lots of blood and yeah.
This is bloody enough. Approved.
Yeah, this is sufficiently bloody. Good job. So the research that I did do for this was not so much reading about what would happen when someone was given these injuries, especially since the people they were being given to, for the most part, were already dead. Kind of going into a little more like psychology of serial killers and, the idea of when killings are motivated for personal, more emotional or personal reasons, which, from the things I read, is it's something that's more prevalent with female killers. And also, that the things that were being done to these people was symbolic. And then also that if you look at them by date, the killer starts to kind of basically gain more confidence as they go.
Yep, and gets more experienced as well. Maybe I'm supposed to make a speak?
The third victim was...
Nope, they have nothing to say. Alright. What else is here?
All the trademarks. You're gonna tell this crazy... Sully's stress ball...
In Sully's computer, you've got the notes that he was typing up in the Wise Monkey case. It was actually the reason that we had them only showing up on his computer and not in the database in general, actually came from something else that was cut. There was going to be a puzzle about trying to figure out what his password was with Terrence's help, and it turns out to be like Erica's name is part of his password. Just as another kind of little, jab to her.
Why did we cut that one? That wasn't for...
It was a puzzle that didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of just a puzzle for the sake of a puzzle, which after episode 1 we got some feedback kind of that people wanted less of that type. So we just got rid of it for that reason. You can go look at Sully's emails, and obviously he has some of the same emails that Erica does because, they get them from the office. But he has a few others. You can see the reply that Erica may have sent him in episode 1 about lunch, and now that this terrible thing has happened, she's just kind of like, ugh, I'm kind of a bitch sometimes. And a few other things sort of just show his life. He's got a message about playing kickball with some friends, about his mom's birthday, things like that. Interestingly, if you try to reply to any of these emails, she's like, no way, I'm not violating his privacy that much.
And I'll give you some brownie points if you guess who's Katie's husband.
His name is somewhere in here.
Sorry, busy this weekend. I can be... Whoa. This one's from the director of the FBI. It is with great regret that I must inform the Bureau of the passing of Madison Davies. Madison served with the FBI for 22 years. Effective immediately, Samuel McAdams will be the acting director. Sincerely, Brandon Rahal. Boston office agents and employees. As you know from Director Rahal's email, I am filling in as the acting director. Like you, I considered Madison a personal as details of the funeral. Southie Townie boys. Don't forget our game against the Somerville Baller. No way. I can use my email if I need to send something. Hey bro, any ideas for Mom's birthday next week? I just gotta make sure he's going. No way.
Okay.
The case database.
Let's look through all notes. Oh yeah.
The wise monkey killer is fixated on the removal of the eyes, ears, and or tongues of her. Kelsey was gaining confidence as she continued to kill. Looks like Sully thought they might all be connected to her, and the deaths were part of some personal vendetta. Makes sense. Revenge killings are fairly common for female serial killers. Her method's particularly gruesome, though. Question is... One evidence form coming up.
Yeah, I actually do need one of those.
I don't have any
Okay.
evidence to look at.
Peoples, you got any peoples?
Kelsey
Okay.
Gardner, age 21. Born and raised in White Rock, New Mexico. Moved to Boston to attend Berklee College of Music, majoring in performance and composition. Dropped out in the middle of her junior year. Everyone on... I don't need to request...
Okay. Oh yeah, I will need the rest of the evidence from the case or whatever's left. I think it was just one charm. I'm meant to come here.
Let's see what this gets me.
Yes, indeed.
I need the charm.
Thanks to that.
Here's the form.
Okay. Hope that helps.
It will. Thank you.
Okay, got the third charm. Anything else? Check the desk. Probably not. I don't think there is anything here. Yeah, you can even interact with it.
Hey, babe. Cool. Hey, sweetheart.
Okay. Time to go see Rose, I guess. Oh, so might as well make a save. Just in case something goes wrong.
I need to do some more research first.
Really?
This is not going...
Won't speak to her about it.
This is where Tess...
This is where she's at. They need to look at this once again. I don't think so. Vision.
They must have gone down the fire exit.
I thought I was supposed to do this again, but maybe not. I kind of forgot.
McCoy?
Red?
Here's the prime suspect for Wise Monkey. A 21-year-old college dropout named Kelsey Gardner.
Think she might have found out he was on her case?
She must have.
Maybe someone she knew back at school.
I'm going to go back to my work.
Go get him, Red.
Okay, back at the school, but did they mention here what that is? Or maybe I have to look it up on the phone? Nope.
It's empty. Sully must have been
Yeah.
I don't have...
Oh, let me see. They say something about this. Oop. Okay. I'm gonna
First victim.
quickly go to these.
First victim. Second victim. Fourth and most recent. I've done everything I can from here. Time to hit the street.
Right, okay, so that's what I missed.
Erica, good morning.
Not much good about it.
Oh, indeed. Dear, you look a mess. What happened? Come tell me about it.
And now I'm trying to find Sully before something worse happens.
That's quite a terrible thing.
Thanks, Rose.
This episode is where you get a little more on the fact that Rose knows more about other Scions and helps other people like Erica. And she's interested in that, but we realized it wasn't a good time for her to, them to have a nice long chat about it because there's an awful lot of rather urgent things going on right now.
Yeah. It's difficult to maintain that balance because, normally you wouldn't even sit here to say anything.
No,
like, you would, be on the run all the time trying to find Sully. But at the same time, you also want to develop these characters and you try to find ways how to balance that.
Yeah, how to give them moments without dragging it out too much.
Hey, Rose.
Hello, my...
Holy moly.
So are you...
Oh, no.
So
He believed me?
Of course.
Hello?
You said you've met people like me before. How many others?
More than you might think. I have spent many years looking for other Scions, and that search has taken me to many places.
Oh, I'd be interested to hear more about that, but I don't have time for a life story right now.
Another time, then.
I've been having an easier time with my powers. Well, except for what happened at the Old South meeting house.
What happened there?
I'm not sure. I was running at the killer, and suddenly I started getting flashes, seeing and hearing things without trying to. I couldn't control it or focus, and that's when the killer took the shot and killed Davies.
That's awful. But whose memory is it?
That's the thing. I don't know. It feels like it's mine, but it's not a memory. It's like it hasn't happened yet.
Odd indeed. But sometimes these powers we have expand without warning. I could try to help you focus on it to learn more.
Maybe another time. I can't right now.
This is also where we kind of first introduce the idea of being able to have a talent that lets you see the future, because Erica is talking to Rose about this vision she has of her own death, which obviously has not happened. And it feels like, it's something that's coming with her powers, but it's obviously not a memory. So Rose is postulating, if powers can develop over time, obviously Erica's already have with different ways she's learned to use it. So is it out of the question that she might learn how to see the future instead of just the past? Of course, that is in fact somebody else's talent.
There's something I need help with. I was trying to get in.
Some items are.
This paper has a phone number on it, but it's the wrong one.
Remember how you.
Finding their synergy? I'm gonna get going.
Goodbye, my dear.
Oh, I did not recognize that there's a Ouija board here. I think I want.
Looks like Rose put out a stack of Ouija boards. Well, I can now admit there are some supernatural.
I don't remember. Anyway.
I remember as well that, and we had a long conversation about where to place this, the docks. Do you remember that there used to be a docks that you research a lot on where this could be and where it could be not, and the way that it was something that, because you care a lot about the location, but it didn't match the design because, well, Erica wouldn't be there at the time, like the distance didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. And we talk about the docks and where they're gonna be and how they're gonna be, and at the end we ended up cutting the scene.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to cheat that one. Good.
Yep.
We were off the hook.
This is the one. Lucky for me.
Okay. Can I do it now? Nope, not yet. Have to go back.
I'm not taking that with.
Hey, guess what? I have the items.
Hey, Rose.
Hello, my dear.
No, not
I'm gonna
this.
get going.
Goodbye, my dear.
How about this?
Find another item to work with.
I have the pen that secretary took down the wrong number with.
Good. Hold them both together and use your powers on them at the same time. It should give you a clearer image, show you the memory that these things share.
Okay, finally. Thank you, game.
617-555-1342.
Uh-huh, okay. I'll give this to Agent Reed when she gets back.
Wait, what? wow. Okay.
So synergy is being able to use cognition on your inventory and adding pieces that share a certain memory together in order to get the full picture of what happened there. So our intro example of keeping it simple was the pen and the post-it note, and then you get a clear picture and you find out what the real number is because it was written down wrong, but it was said correctly. And we went through a few iterations of how this would look. Like, we were going to have each item would have different partial images of memories that were attached to it, and you had to like select the correct ones that matched, and it would come together. But
I really, really, really like that.
Cool idea.
It
Remember,
was
there was
a very
nice.
cool idea.
There was nice like film strip concept art for it.
Yeah,
That
there
cool.
was that would show like you would go between them and then choose the one that it was. Eventually, I think that we realized that it was kind of easy to figure out which one was the right image, and it was sort of like an extra step that would cost a lot of work without just giving enough of a challenge.
Yeah, it was adding more puzzle to it just for the sake of adding it. That didn't actually add any difficulty or challenge or interest to the thing itself.
Yeah, I think that there's a very good idea there that if we had time to develop further, we probably could have done a lot something great with it, because I really, really like that idea that you came up with.
It's working. I've got the number.
And they say synergy's just a buzzword.
Do you think if I combine even more items, I can make a memory?
I should think so.
That'll come in handy.
So the fluffy pink pen, I was just trying to think of an item that would stand out a lot, and that we could also say, if Tess had just a cup full of completely normal blue and black Bic pens, you would have, there's no way to say, yes, she was clearly using this pen when they all look exactly the same. So the fluffy, legally blonde pen was the one that we went with instead. It also afforded some opportunity for Erica to be snarky about stuff, which I always enjoy those times.
Tess's pen. I can't believe anyone over the age of 15 actually uses this thing.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, Rose.
Hello, my dear.
I'm gonna get going.
That's it
Goodbye.
for now. Let's go to some of the other locations. Sure, let's go to college.
So this establishing shot of Berkeley you only see once, but that is based on a photo from the outside of the actual one of the buildings, anyways, at Berkeley in downtown Boston.
It was done specifically for this episode.
Yep.
So sometimes we do things and we use them like very little. Like this case.
Yeah, we were going to use this as a way of you could go to both Melissa's apartment and also to see the dean from this screen, but we just ended up using it as an establishing shot instead.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
You must be Special Agent Reed. Of course. Now,
I need some information.
Kelsey.
Not exactly.
Oh, that's a shit.
So I went with Berkeley because in deciding, we had MO of the Wise Monkey set before we decided on the details behind him. So rather than going with kind of the more obvious angle of killing people who had seen or heard or said evil things, I wanted to do something a little different, and seeing, hearing, and speaking are all involved in music. So I decided to base it around this college student. She had musical talent, but also was sort of a frustrated artist.
Now, this scene, the 2D artwork, it was actually based on a scene that existed by
Yep.
Romano, but we changed it completely.
Yeah, the desk was not nearly as nice of an office. The desk was in the middle of the room. We moved it back.
At the end, we basically redid the scene.
Essentially, yeah.
But it retained the angle. Everything else is new, like the window. There wasn't a window. It was like a closed office. It was all very messy. Why is the cabinet file messy? Why is that one thing?
The filing cabinet is messy, just basically to give the idea that he is terrible at doing his own filing. And when she threatens to go look through his files, he knows, like, she'd find it because it's a mess in there. He has not done a good job of covering his tracks outside of telling people lies.
You know, I remember in the movie Seven, like the music is always very gritty and very crime scene kind of music, but then there's a section when they're researching what the 7 scenes were, and then it happens in the library, and there's this music, this very beautiful classical music playing in the background. And I think that in a sense is a lot like that. It feels a lot like that, and I think that Austin did a great job at it.
Yeah, the music, some of the songs that get added in episode 2 are among my favorites.
As it becomes more and more like you're gonna find out who he is and what he's done, we had like another piece of music that we added on top that changed the intonation of the regular music that plays when you first get here. You know, it turned the more serene and classic music into something more, like, a little bit more suspenseful and thrilling. So we did a lot of that with the music, which I think, you know, it was a first for us, and I think that I want to explore that more in the future with Austin.
The particular story with him, with referring people to a specific student loan company, was something I read about that had actually happened. Not at Berkeley, at some other college. But I was basically looking into, you know, what are some kind of fraud that would happen with this sort of thing. It was specifically, it was a story where someone was taking gifts from a student loan company, which they're not allowed to do. So for this, I added in the part about, you know, he would obviously refer people to that student loan company and basically get a little something on the side. Because I knew I wanted something shady about the dean and why he would lie about Kelsey in there. And sort of the first suggestion that came up was, you know, oh, well, they could have been having an affair. And I was like, that seems a little too obvious. So let's make it something a little different.
I just think that the Dean's conversations, especially the animations, are some of the better ones in the game. It just feels very natural.
We added the ums and ahs into his lines intentionally for when he was lying, and we told the cinematic artists to make sure, you know, he either looked aside when he's lying or that he's blinking too much, you know, sort of the things that someone might actually do when they know they're lying to a federal agent.
Isn't that one of those really swanky hotels in Dubai? I'd be more surprised if he... Ugh, that thing's a mess. The drawers are laid... Yo-Yo Ma, it really is sign. May I take a copy of this?
Well, do you need it for something?
Yes, indeed I do. This time.
I'm thinking of having some stationery of my own made. I'd like a sample of something nice to work from.
Go right ahead. My secretary can give you the name of our supplier.
Thanks.
nice.
Official stationery from Berkeley.
Oh. You might without the other more important piece. Alright, let's speak to him.
Dean Chapman,
Hello, Agent Reed.
tell me about yourself.
Well, I've been the dean of...
How much
Well, I make the...
What can you tell me about
not much of...
asking why she dropped out?
Yes,
Then what happened to her?
I'm not sure.
Why not try to...
I'm not...
Why did she have so much...
Well, you'd have to, talk...
College doesn't come cheap. What about her family? They couldn't...
Well, I don't know what her family's situation.
What classes did Kelsey take?
Most of her classes were in...
Did she ever take any classes with you?
Oh yeah, she took one.
So you must have known her from that.
Those classes are rather large, you must...
I'd also like to ask you about two other...
Oh, yes, of course.
We believe they were the victims of the...
You really think she might have killed...
You said you didn't know her very well.
No, but I'd be shocked to hear that about any of...
Luke Jensen was a recent graduate. Do you know if he and Kelsey had any classes together, or if they were friends?
Well, I'll check our student records. No classes together. They didn't live in any of the same dorms. Oh, here we are. It looks like Kelsey was tutored by Luke in her freshman year in composition.
Were those one-on-one sessions?
Probably. Small group sessions at most.
How did she do in the class?
She got a B that semester, but in later composition courses, her grades fell. Her last grade in that subject was a D.
Sounds like the lessons didn't stick. Calling late. Any connection between her?
No classes to...
Would Kelsey have known this?
Well, it's possible,
Did Kelsey have any friends I could talk to?
I don't know what her social circle was, but I could put you in touch with her old roommate.
I'd appreciate that.
Homelin, could you please contact the former roommate of Kelsey Gardner? Agent Reed would like to speak with her.
Certainly, sir. I'll have her information ready for when Agent Reed is done.
Those are all the questions I have for now. Can you think of anything else I should know about Kelsey or either of the victims?
No, that's all I can think of.
If you think of anything, contact me.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course, not. Oh, I think, she's in home?
She's not home. I left my card and told her to text me when she's home.
Yeah, so... in order to trigger that, I had to go somewhere else. Then I think I had to send the card to Denton Towers. Let's go to the thing that will allow the cemetery.
So the morgue is another place where we got some things ended up being cut. Obviously, this played into the drug storyline. You were going to bring the drugs here so that Terrence could analyze them. And also, he was going to be part of the attempt to get Gallagher out of the way so that you could go look at Davy's body.
We had a lot of Terrence involved in this episode, and we ended up cutting him somehow.
Because he would have given you the tablet with the facial sketch program on it. He would have, analyzed the drugs and the hairs that would turn out to be from the wig. And, you just had some more fun conversation with him. And then, unfortunately, we just had to cut him from all of it. Although we did get to make that fun AFK sign.
Yeah.
That
was all that was left for Terrence.
Poor Terrence.
Yeah.
He would have been in this. I think we even had him recorded for all that stuff.
Poor Terrence, indeed.
AFK. Terrence must be working the crime scene at the Old South Meeting Hall.
Again, it brings in this feeling of Erica being more and more isolated, like everyone around her being
Agent Reed,
dead
how
or
can I help you?
I wanted to say goodbye to Davies. Everything happened so fast, I didn't have a
put in
chance
different
before.
case.
You
They
know my
want to meet
rules,
her.
Agent Reed. No contamination and no private visits.
Right.
I have paperwork to take care of. Please, show yourself out.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, really? So, how was I supposed oh yeah, that's right. That is right. I'm going to save. And do this.
This ought to give me some prep. Now I need to get out of...
Oh my god, this alarm again. It's ridiculous.
As if I'm not...
Better move fast.
Yep, there we go. My head is about to explode. Okay.
Gallagher's desk.
Nothing to do with that.
That must be Davies.
Oh, you don't say.
Sorry I was such a pain in the...
Yeah. Ooh. I forgot about this. Okay, let's cancel this.
So, pulling the fire alarm was just kind of another little spot of something fun to do in the episode, and, even though, yes, there are all sorts of complications that would come from doing that, the fire trucks would have been arriving, waste of city money, etc., but we're in the game world, so we ignore some of those things. So here, we are, Erica has a very nice moment where she says goodbye to Davies. Since we knew we wanted to have her check up on the body and find a few clues, it made sense that she would take that time to actually say something to Davies, because she feels awful because, of course, she wasn't able to save her. She got there, well, not really too late. I mean, she never really had much of a chance of doing that.
Yeah.
So she has a nice moment where she gets to say goodbye there.
And besides, I don't think Erica really resented her.
I'm sure she won't mind if I borrow this without asking. If I'd just gotten there sooner.
Okay,
Her neck broke rather than her strangling to death. Small murder. Gallagher did the autopsy already.
I was supposed to
At least with her eyes closed, she looks more
something.
peaceful.
Oh, the tattoo.
I recognize this now.
Oh, yes, thank you.
There. That'll help me do a search on it later. Psi is the 23rd letter of the Greek alphabet. It is often used as a prefix signifying subjects that relate to the brain or soul, for example, psychology. It is also used in words relating supposedly supernatural phenomena, as in the word psychic, or the word scion.
Okay, nothing to do with this. I guess that's it.
No. I'll
No?
leave those to Gallagher.
Really? Oh, we have the tape recorder and this blank
A
tape.
blank tape.
Yeah, I think that was it. Alright, let's go.
Agent Reed, what are you doing in here?
Was there? I didn't hear.
The whole time?
Hey,
Damn it, Reed, you are wasting time!
I am doing my job.
Don't tempt me.
Fine.
Okay.
Erica gets caught by not only Gallagher, but also McAdams. I do enjoy her attempt to make an excuse because I was in the bathroom and, I don't ask what you doing there.
Yeah. There was, I remember that there was a puzzle here that we decided not to use, which was...
Yeah, you try to matchmake Gallagher and McAdams. Which was basically a way to get rid of the two of them, because it was going to be, people were in there and you pull the fire alarm, and if you didn't get behind the desk in time, then you were going to have to go outside too.
Yeah.
And then they were all going to be there, so you basically had to get people to leave so that you could go back inside. One of the things was, telling Gallagher that McAdams was really interested in hearing about her cats. Which was also kind of some fun revenge because you don't like McAdams, so now he's stuck listening to all this stuff about cats.
Okay, so I had to make sure there was all the... because otherwise I'll have to sound the alarm again and... It won't be home yet, so I guess I'll check Kelsey's apartment. Cemetery is still not unlocked.
The landlord said her parents are paying the rent.
Okay. What do you have to say about this?
So the song that of Kelsey singing is actually Amy Brown, the voice of Cordelia, does the singing for this song.
Really?
And I think this is something that just she and Mike kind of came up with, a brief little bit of music to use there.
Okay.
So this is one of our original screens for episode 2. And this is one of, I think, Katie's favorites.
It is. I liked the idea of we would get to these apartments and they'd show these people, something about their lives. And just the idea that, this girl had a very crappy apartment. It's not in a great section of town. And we had to bend the ideas a little bit because technically this girl has actually been missing for several months. So it's a question of, why is all this stuff still here? It's like, well, okay, we'll say her parents are clinging to the idea that she ran away and that she'll come back and that they want her to have a place to come home to.
There's some really sad stuff,
sad.
like this letter. Picking up the letter, how Erica Reed is. It's like you start thinking about these people, and it's like, obviously at this point you're not very sympathetic with her because you might think that she is a killer, that she's heavily involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's later when you find out that she was actually a victim. So, did you put like the little dinosaur back there, or is that...
The dinosaur was an addition that Elisa made, which just when drawing it, and it was so cute that we had to add a line of Erica noticing it and actually commenting on like the fact that it was so cute. It kind of stuck out in this place.
Wow. Nice. The return of hipster Erica, indeed. I kickstarted. All was cool. Oh, there you go. Hold the buttons. I guess that's for you. Oh wait, there's some more. But I don't see anything else right now. Oh well.
Dear Kelsey, we miss you so much, sweetheart. We just want to know you're
this
safe.
one's skippable.
We wanted you to have a place to come back to from wherever it is you've gone. Please call us as soon as you can if you find this. Love always, Mom and Dad.
Okay.
Talk about depressing.
This stuff?
Pick up anything that isn't nailed down, right?
Right. I'm checking for
Her bathroom is pretty tiny, just like the rest of the place. What's a cute little guy like you doing in a place like this? Who's sending her a package? She hasn't... This is addressed to Sully. What the fuck?
Okay, I don't need this yet. I use my power on this. Oh. Okay.
That won't work there.
Oh, it's just blank, I guess, maybe. To this.
I can't see anything. Damn it.
I wonder why.
Screw it, I'm opening this thing. Puzzle box.
Ah, that's what I
The
thought
Wise
as
Monkey
well.
puzzle box. Since we had the Wise Monkey moniker, it seemed like an obvious choice to make it, have the 3 monkeys on it with the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
At one point, we were thinking of it being a more complicated puzzle because you wanted it to make like an actual puzzle box that you saw.
You had to actually interact with the puzzle box.
But we decided at one point that, that's just nothing was sticking, right?
Nothing. We weren't quite set up for that. And it also had the problem of then you might theoretically be able to open the box before you were ready to, basically.
Right.
So opening it became a way of gating part of the storyline.
That's correct. Okay, so what am I supposed to do next? Let's see.
DJ Ab. It's got that roll right.
How about the vent? I cannot open it yet.
I'll just see a dozen other people failing. I need to see it open successfully.
Wait, what? Okay. So I went to every place possible.
She's not home.
Still not home. Oh, I never called Cordelia. That's why the cemetery isn't unlocked. I forgot to call Cordelia. No, did this? No? Do I have the number already? I mean, I should have the right one. There you go.
Hello?
Hi.
Erica.
Sorry.
I was just...
Sounds good.
Okay. Time to progress the storyline. Go, go, go.
Hello, Erica.
Hi, Cordelia.
But this section is interesting because a lot of the conversations were actually pieces of episode 1 that we were gonna have in there, and then we just sort of moved them over here.
Mm-hmm.
There was also, but I think that we also moved them over here because we had an additional puzzle as well in here that we ended up cutting, where you had
Yes.
a tablet and you had to reconstruct the face of
The Cane Killer.
The Cane Killer.
So Erica says, I'll figure out a way for you to show me what you saw. So she gets basically a sketch artist program on a tablet that you were going to go through and piece together what the guy's face looked like. But then, it was just a lot of things to program in. There were better ways we could do it. So we cut that. And also the fact that Erica's supposed to be, again, having a sense of urgency to her day.
Yeah.
So instead we padded out these conversations with some of the ones from episode 1 instead of having it all there.
There's more commentary. Oh.
This is one of those moments where you just cannot feel good about Cordelia.
Yeah, once you know.
like right now when she's sitting and she's like just telling this stuff to Erica, like so blank face, pretending that she cares. I do think that she cares a little bit in her way, but still it's like so wrong. And it's one of those moments where you can just look at Cordelia and say, screw you.
I also like to think of this as because the way she words things and she comments, it really sounds like you care a lot about this friend of yours and stuff, that kind of give the idea that maybe Cordelia is right now reconsidering what Sully's fate will be. Maybe she was planning to kill him, but when she hears how much this really means to Erica, she changes her mind. And
yeah, that's possible. That's also something I've been thinking. Before, I think I need to do this. Let's speak to Cordelia.
Cordelia, this is hard for me to say. I don't even know where to start.
Try me.
I remembered something from the night that my brother...
I know.
Oh, I can see this.
It's fine.
Thank you.
And
I talked to Rose. You were right.
She's a good...
What kind of...
Oh, it was...
Oh. You said you took a...
He owned and
sound...
Not quite as it... That sounds like...
You could say that.
Do you want to talk about it?
A friend of mine was taken by someone this morning. I don't know where he is, but I know he's hurt badly, and I have to find him.
That's awful. But you sound determined. I'm sure you'll find him.
Just finding him isn't good enough. I found Scott, I found Davies, and I was too late to save either of them.
I know what it's like to lose someone close to you, Erica. You care about this friend of yours a lot, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, well, she says that.
More than I've let him know. But there are things I haven't told him about myself.
Simple?
Exact.
You sound a lot like me sometimes.
Just script.
What was your brother like?
Max.
Sound.
We were.
Well, same with...
Those are...
What were you doing here?
I was visiting Max's grave.
And how did you get close?
I was sitting here.
You didn't need to come to the office.
I wasn't sure I wanted to...
What? Cordelia, what do you mean?
I can't be positive. He looks different. There are scars on this guy's face, but I swear I remember those eyes. It might be him, but more importantly, I'm afraid.
If that man is really... I can't check it out myself right now, but I can get a car over there at least. Someone to keep an eye on things until I can get there myself.
You do that? Thank you so much, Erica.
Sure.
I live at the Enthon Towers by the Charles River.
Buddy.
You did the right thing. I'll get over there myself soon, I I need to get back to my case.
Thank you so much.
I might take you up on that.
Hey there, Gwen. Got anything from
Hey,
you?
Gwen. Any news?
Not really. Sorry.
Was this guitar charm one of the ones in...
No, none of them were guitar.
This one's new. I need an interagency request form.
Here you go.
It looks like you're buried in paper.
I'm so busy I haven't been able to get these forms to McAdam.
Thanks, Gwen. Let me bring the stack in for you at least.
Would you? Oh, thank you.
No problem, Gwen. Thank you, Gwen.
Anytime.
Okay, anytime.
I'll just add this one on top.
Well, good job. Hey, the stain is clear and everything.
Here, these are from Gwen for you to sign.
And why are you bringing me these?
Because Tess quit. The evidence room was robbed, and she's going gray trying to keep everything together out there on her own.
She has her job, you have yours.
You can skip to this.
But fine,
dialogue,
give her
but
this
you
one, she can
skip
get the
to
rest later.
Everything from Cordelia, which is, I think, more important. I don't know. You judge by yourself. Okay, so I have this, so I have to give it to Gwen, I think. It says approved.
One interagency request form, signed by McAdams, ready to send to the BPD. I'm gonna catch a lot of shit for this one. Here are some of those forms, Gwen. I think he said to bother.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
And could you fax this to Officer?
All right.
Thanks, Gwen.
Okay, now Melissa will be at her house.
Hello, Erica.
Hi, Cordelia. It's all sorted out. There'll be a police car outside the building soon. I'll get there when I can, but in the meantime, if you see that guy, let them know, okay?
Thank you so much, Erica. I feel safer already knowing you're looking out for me.
I'm glad I could help. I'll call you later. It's from Melissa, Kelsey's old roommate. She's back at her apartment. Hello? Miss Karubia?
Who is it?
Special Agent Erica Reed, FBI.
Yes, of course. The Dean's office called about you. Namaste, Miss Reed.
It's Agent Reed, actually.
Of course! My apologies. Please, have a seat.
Melissa.
I love this character and her apartment, and that she's a total kook hippie. It's nice that we had her since Terrence ended up having to get cut really from the episode. So there is still some comic relief in the episode. In Melissa's total mess of an apartment. With its bright purple chair and the blinking clock and the wet towel she threw on the floor and the tarot cards. The tarot cards here actually have a reference to Quest for Glory 4. And that game, whenever you go to get your cards read in the Gypsy camp, the last one is always the Void, which isn't a real tarot card. So when we were designing a couple of tarot cards for this scene, we had them add in the Void card.
You know, I had not remember what that part of Quest for Glory was, and I actually played it last December while we were developing the Wise Monkey. And it was like, oh, look, this is the Void card. It was fun.
So what's fun about talking to Melissa is that unlike anyone else, other people like the Dean that you talk to, or a lot of the other characters involved in this case, she's hiding something, but totally by accident. If she could remember anything, she would tell you. So she's like a complete innocent in the whole thing. And when you later find out basically that Joy was on his way to kill her, it adds an air of kind of how he was pretty messed up, because she clearly is harmless. She didn't do anything to Kelsey, really. She's just kind of an airhead in this game.
But that's also, another thing. So we talked about, when you saw Cordelia, you say screw you. But then then you compare it to this, and it's like, so Melissa's alive because of Cordelia, because she knew that she was gonna be attacked, and then she intervened and captured the wise monkey, and then later at the end of this episode, kill him. I really, really, really like the regression puzzle in this one, because I thought, even though it was a simplified version of regression, it actually was completely used. Like all the asides were used.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see, each one of them, and then we had to order them in the right way, and that was awesome. Because before, it used to be that you only click on one, and that's the one that you had to see.
Mm-hmm.
This one you had to figure out with what order.
Put them in the right order.
Yeah, and like all the clues in here were visual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not only the clock, which is obviously the biggest clue. There's also the glass of water is on the table after she puts it there. And so
it was a little bit like the wires puzzle in episode 1, but it has its own flavor, which I really like.
Yeah. It also makes me wonder what happened between then, earlier in the day, and now that her clock has stopped working.
That's a good question.
The music here that we actually ended up using, incidentally, this was the original music that we did for Rose, and I didn't like it. So I rejected it, and that's when I went with the more tropical thing. But then when we needed something for Melissa, I was like, we have this piece of music here that we never used. So I told Austin, hey, I think that we can use this for Melissa because it has a cuckoo thing going, like all peaceful, and so that's where we found this music for her.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna save here. And let's see, I'm not even sure.
Those look well used. Ugh,
How to even start? I don't remember everything. Empowerment. On her I can. Okay, let's first speak to her. See what she says.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course!
Can you tell me about yourself, Miss Karubia?
Melissa's just fine. I'm a senior at Berkeley, studying composition and music therapy.
Music therapy? They teach that here?
Oh, yes! It's a wonderful program. Music can be a powerful healer and helper for all kinds of people.
If you say so. What can you tell me about your old roommate, Kelsey Gardner?
Poor girl. She was so bright when we met. Then it all fell apart on her. First, she lost her scholarship, then her work study, then she got refused for a loan, then she dropped out. We lost touch after...
Not yet.
She was nice.
And the last time you talked?
It wasn't good.
Angry about what?
Oh, a lot of...
What do you know about...
Kelsey couldn't...
Was that the last...
What?
That must have been a...
Yeah.
What was her work
She...
The dean of...
She did.
When was she fired?
A month into junior...
So much for not...
Yeah, she helps,
Who was Kelsey's boyfriend?
Find out some dirt on the dean.
Joey.
Joey.
I don't know. But he worked at the post office down the street.
I was just there yesterday, actually. Joey. What does he look like?
Oh, brown hair.
Sounds like the clerk I met.
Not a lot.
Do you know if they were still together when she went missing?
I don't.
Okay.
Have you had any contact from Kelsey at all since she disappeared?
Like, from beyond?
Beyond what?
Beyond, spirits.
Of course.
Yes, I think Kelsey might have tried to contact me. Ha, no.
A silver charm? Where is it now?
It's, fudge. I know I put it somewhere. I'll have to focus.
You do that.
Oh, this is why you need the Ouija
A silver
board.
charm? Where?
It's, I'll have to focus and
you do that.
This section.
You said she was trying.
DJ.
I've heard that.
DJ.
Was his real name Nick?
DJ Abhorrence isn't?
Hey, I should have forgiven
She knew him better.
Anyway.
Thanks for your time.
Namaste.
Time to go back to Mama Rose. Oh, I can also go to the post office. Sure. Over here on the screen.
So, Post Office Day 2 has mysteriously a totally different post office worker. Which is actually one of the bit parts done by Michael Fortunato, the voiceover director. He did Scott, he did this guy, he does one of the cops at the end of episode 2.
He does Max.
He does Max. Max was obviously the biggest role. I don't think he had any small parts in episode 4, which is kind of a shame. He would have had the full game.
I should have probably identified myself first.
Can I talk to you? I'm looking for a man who works here named Joey.
Joey Gothals.
I think so.
You and me both, lady. He ditched his shift today.
Have you called him?
They called, sure.
I need his address. Did you know Joey's girl?
Sorry, ma'am,
That's all for now.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, I'm not sure if I got his address, so let me try this.
I'm an FBI agent, and I need
Right.
to speak with Joey about a case. Give me his address or get your boss.
Crap. Is he in trouble?
No.
Where am I?
That wall's got all the post office boxes.
Yeah, this is not enough. I have to find some more about that one. Probably the charms will help me with that.
Can I talk to you?
That's what
That's all for now.
I
Okay.
can say actually.
Bye.
That's what she says about him.
That's what Joey was yesterday.
Right. So this guy isn't scared of talking to the big bad FBI agent. Okay. Let's go to Rose now. Checking Joe's places, nameless so far, and also the cemeteries as well.
How much for one of these Ouija boards, Rose?
Is this something to help save your young man?
Hopefully.
Then it's on the house, my dear. Besides, I have another pile in the back.
I'm gonna try the cemetery, but I don't think Virgil is there even. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, right. This apartment.
Hello? Miss Carubia?
Who is it?
Special Agent Erica Reed,
Guess
FBI.
who?
Yes, of course. Namaste, Miss Reed. Please, have a seat.
It's... Never mind. Can I ask you a few?
Of course!
Yeah, so we were talking about how we're gonna touch Melissa to do this, and I'm like, well, I had seen what Katie was doing with that character. I was like, well, maybe you can just use a Ouija board.
Yep. Because your hands have to touch on that. And that made perfect sense for Melissa, of course, because she's clearly into these kinds of things. That's the tarot cards on the table were, intended to be a reference in that direction to point you towards that. I just love how they animated her when you take out the Ouija board and she is so excited about getting to use it.
Gimme.
She's like, gimme, oh boy. And one of the other great things is that the lines for Melissa singing to the Ouija board, there wasn't a note about her singing those lines. They were just written out and I figured she'd chant them or something. So the actress was the one who decided to sing them, and I'm so glad she did because it's just perfect.
It's perfect.
And I love that Erica winces at hearing it and she's blocking her ears and
Yeah, this is one of the things that, even though it's really not in tone with the whole game, it's great aside to have a little bit of fun. Otherwise, like, the rest of the game is just very gloomy and very dark.
Nice hat. Then this is the back. The void. Oh boy. 1, 3. I like this one. I like this drawing. Alright.
Would using this help you remember?
Perfect! This way we can confer directly with the spirits. Spirit of the Ouija board, please help me remember what I was doing before the package arrived, so I can remember where I put it. This morning I was... What was I doing?
This must be a lot of fun recording it. Use my power on her. Yep. Okay. Can I ask her? Nope, not from here.
If I help her remember what order she did things in, maybe she'll remember where she put that charm.
Right, so what was it? First yoga, then water, maybe? I don't remember. Let's say water, apple, and nail.
Thank you, Spirit.
Is that it?
That's right. I got the mail and then I put it in the red jewelry box.
Where's that?
Which
On
is?
the dresser. I
On the
put things I
dresser.
find or that I'm borrowing here. How silly that I couldn't remember.
Okay.
In the red jewelry box. On the dresser.
KG. Did this key belong to Kelsey?
Oh, I forgot all about that.
What a surprise.
Yes, she gave that.
Did she tell you what box?
She did. It's,
I don't remember.
Drat, I don't remember.
I'll see if I can find out on my own.
Right. And this. Okay.
Did the package say where this was mailed from?
No. I think it was hand-delivered, no stamps or anything.
Do you have the envelope?
Sorry. I already recycled it. Why?
Melissa, you're in danger. Charms like this have been found.
Kelsey?
There were a lot of people.
Yes,
Good. If you see Kelsey.
I will. Thank you, Agent.
So, let's enter the post office once again. And I'm probably gonna have to use my power on it. Yes.
Number 303. Got it. That wall's got all the post office boxes. Kelsey's is number 3.
Use the key.
303. Here it is. No one's opened this in a while. There's actually dust in here.
Take everything. Oh, wait. I thought check.
A screwdriver.
Okay, there's nothing. And pick it up. Yes, we all know you're going to need it. I should have probably gone to the dean. Maybe not. Let me save real fast and might as well.
A place like this has.
Wow, the music for her apartment is not creepy at all.
It's wicked dusty in there. This envelope's been sitting around for a while. Nothing written on it. But it feels like there's something shaking around in here.
I wonder what could it be. Okay, so let's see. Open it. Or not.
Why would Kelsey hide this? It's a typed letter, no signature. Your threats are worthless,
Right, I can now do this. Then I have to deal with this.
The dean wrote this, so that's what he's hiding.
That's part of what he's hiding. Let me check. Actually, cannot do anything with this yet. Okay. So, can I do this? Yep.
I can't stand it anymore. Everything's just total shit. I can't go to school. My job sucks. Everyone is against me.
Kelsey, don't say that. I'm here. I still love you. I'd do anything for you. You know that, right?
That doesn't get my scholarship back from Little Miss Perfect, or fix my grades, Joey, or get my job back from that piece of shit dean.
Kelsey, please, don't.
I've made up my mind, Joey, and he is not getting away with what he's done.
This vision is actually the first time we get a look, like a first-person experience of Kelsey. And of course, we made it a memory that wasn't going to help her look any more innocent. In fact, less so. She's talking about getting revenge on the dean. She's very angry. She's got the puzzle box has the wise monkey design on it. She's sounding very guilty or like conniving, planning about something. And of course, she is, but it's not at all what you think it is. And also adding in this touch of Joey in there, trying to change her mind so that you think, oh, well, she's gonna kill him now because he was telling her not to do this.
There's another memory here.
Yep. And also, yeah, Joey seems awfully sane in that vision. This... And what? Have to get the last piece. Okay. Do I have everything?
Why would Kelsey hide this? A memory card. The memory card I found in Kelsey's apartment. They're financial records from... There's also a list of companies owned by the Susie K. Lending Institution. The dean's taking money from the same student loan company that turned... That's what the letter is about. He knew what she was doing. He'd only send that if these were real.
The twists in this game are amazing. So... I'm supposed to open the box now, I guess. I have this.
Official stationery from Berkeley.
I thought I had to use...
Something was ripped off here. I can still see the bottom of the letters that were on it.
Oh, combine it, not use
They
the
match.
Yep.
This was written on official Berkeley stationery. It's something, but it's not enough on its own to go making threats. They'll probably continue to say she never worked here.
Alright, and I'm going to make a separate save. And open the box.
This belonged to Kelsey. There was some trick to opening it. Got it. Sully! Holy shit, this girl is fucked up. I can't do this. I can't. I need to talk to someone.
This was definitely meant to be a, you flash back to the beginning of the episode, that just sort of glimpse of what's happening to Sully, and you get a slightly expanded version of it here.
Why do you get like an expanded version of it?
Yeah, there's gonna be an expanded version where you have to actually like use the cognition powers yourself,
okay.
But kind of and the camera angles were a little weird and the animations didn't quite work out. So we just did it this way.
I thought you were talking about the video, like there was like a version, an expanded version of the video.
No.
Yeah, you at one point you had to like actually take the things yourself, and then you just...
At one point you had to actually take them yourself. So also in this cutscene, what I really like is that you get, one step closer to Erica's dad. He's there in the first episode in the emails, and of course he's the hint system, which involves him in her life, which is nice. And I like how we came up with that idea for the hint system. Since we knew that he was going to be in danger in episode 4, he was another character we were kind of layering into the game a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, there had to be a moment where Erica finally broke under the pressure of what's going on in the last few days, and right now with Sully, especially after seeing his eyeball in a box, which is really messed up. And so, she... it was originally going to be you had an option of who to call, and you could call John, but he just wasn't around. He didn't pick up. So we just skipped ahead to automatically having her call her dad, and he knew how to talk her down and tell her, Rook, remember what your job is. You can do this. You're tough enough to get through this. It's hard, but I know you can find him and you're gonna save him.
We worked a lot on this conversation actually because we wanted to make sure that it was really tight and it was really good. And I remember that we went back and forth, cleaning it up until we got the final version. That
it was longer, and then we kept condensing it, and the way they did the visuals worked out great. You know, the eye is literally staring at you for the entire time because you can't not be looking at it, and the way that the Mikhail did the outlines of the boxes. They're erratic and messy and shaky when the person is panicking who's talking, and they slowly get more defined and more straight as she calms down.
Erica, how are you, sweetheart? I've been worried about you. I heard about what's happening.
Dad, I'm not good. Some psycho is hurting Sully. She took his eye out and I just found it.
Slow down, Erica. Breathe. You can do this. You're strong. You're tough as nails, honey. Just breathe.
Please, just talk to me, Dad.
Of course. Hey, remember your high school soccer team? You were a hell of a goalie. Even took one right to the face and kept going.
That hurt like hell. I was lucky nothing broke.
Like that would have stopped the brick house.
Brick house. I haven't been called that in a while. I'm sorry, Dad. I know Davies was a friend.
She was a good woman. But Erica, you can handle this. You're gonna find this piece of crap who's hurting Sully and bring her to justice. I know I can trust Brickhouse to never let anything stop her.
Yeah, you're right. I'll feel better once I catch her. Or unload a few rounds in her.
Your job is justice, not revenge. Don't forget that. Be careful, Erica. I don't want to lose you too. I love you, sweetheart.
I know. I better go now, Dad. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting how, such a horrible thing should happen that then she has to get in contact with her dad. Also, I really like the twitching kind of frame what they did there, and also with her hands, how she kind of reaches to pick up the items but doesn't quite pick them up and then quickly snatch them away. Really nice touch. I like that. Okay, so let me combine this and this and put the CD in the stereo and then make a little recording. A little recording for Joey's apartment.
No more of everyone telling me the way it's got to be. I've got
She's pretty good for someone who snapped and started a killing spree.
Okay, do it.
No more of everyone telling me the way it's got to be. I've got a path, I'll take a road that's gonna set me free.
Okay, and with that, I'm ready to, I believe, go to the theme. I can also look at this vision. Wait, what? I'm still missing a charm? Didn't I have all of them now? Okay. Let's say not yet. Nope, nothing interesting here. Time to pay the deal a little visit.
Dean Chapman?
Hello.
Dean Chapman?
Hello, Agent Reed.
He's already denied.
Attempt accusation.
It's
then.
something, but it's not enough on its own.
Okay, let me show him this.
He's already denied.
Okay, show him the other thing. This.
Yeah, it's time the Dean and I had a talk about this.
Yeah. So, are you going to?
Dean Chapman?
Hello, Agent Reed.
It's something.
Okay, I'm not doing something right. Attempt this. Hey, it works.
Is
Doesn't
there
even
something
say
you
anything.
need from my files, Agent?
Yes, I'd like to see your personnel files on past work-study students, specifically Kelsey Gardner.
What?
Oh,
Forget to
snap.
You can't.
Lying to
Yeah,
a federal
can.
agent is not something we take lightly.
That sounded a little
You'd
bit like
better
she
explain
heard
yourself
herself.
now, Dean Chapman, or I'm going
Then-
to a judge for a warrant for your arrest.
Make a threatening
Didn't want to
sound.
look like I was connected to her.
What
I don't
happened
think
with you
there's
and Kelsey, Dean?
a wrong
No.
answer here.
And you never said this
Where'd she disappear?
So,
Show him this then?
yeah.
No? Not yet? Okay, threatening letter.
Yeah, it's time.
Wait, what else is there?
You are connected.
Agent Reed, I had no further connection with her. And furthermore, I am not permitting you access to any files with...
Those two.
I'm not sure anymore. I skipped
Yeah, it's.
all the conversations. This
Yeah,
isn't going
it-
to work. Okay, let's tell him that we'll accuse him.
One more time, Chapman. Is there anything?
No.
I really hate being lied.
You have no...
Yeah, I do. Look at this.
This letter was sent to Kelsey's personal
Aha.
post office box months ago. Whoever wrote it ripped off the top to conceal the letterhead.
What has that got to do with me?
They didn't rip quite enough off. The bottom of a few letters are left. Letters that match your office stationery.
That's all that proves is someone used a piece of Berkeley stationery to write this. Do you know how many offices carry that?
You're right, but that's not all there is.
There's also this.
These files prove that you've been taking
Gonna-
gifts from the Susie K. Lending Institution for
We
at
should
least 4
probably
years.
show him-
Students get
show
referred
him the
and ripped a
phone.
new one on interest
Oh, well.
rates, and suddenly you're going on really nice family vacations and getting instruments signed by Yo-Yo Ma and the Beatles.
That's, there's no... Those are falsified reports.
I
Oh, I
highly
don't
doubt it.
know.
And a little scrutiny from the experts will prove one way or the other. How are you feeling about your odds in that bet, Daniel?
The truth.
Some of the fun parts about confronting the dean, not only that you get to at least, take down some criminal yourself, because Cordelia does a lot of handling of the bad guys in the game for you.
Yeah.
So here was someone you actually finally get to stick it to him and reveal his evil deeds.
Actually, you bring a good point about how it's sort of always Cordelia solving the cases and like getting the resolution for you.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of reminds me of the relation between Debra and Dexter, where Dexter would always kill the people and Debra wouldn't catch. Would
Yeah,
never
she'd
catch
never
him.
get to catch the bad guy.
Yeah.
Another great part is I think this is the first time we got to use the Erica's shaking my fist and looking at it animation, which got poked fun at a lot in the reviews. But I love it. I feel like it's her. It's the cheesy animation that we have to keep using for her now.
The letterhead, these financial records, plus the fact that Kelsey had access to this office and your reports. And your personnel records over there will no doubt back that up. And the fact that you lied about knowing her. I think I've got a great story for the Boston Globe. How about you?
What do you want?
The truth, you piece of shit.
Yeah, that is a good one. I like it too. Did Kelsey work here? It's like we haven't established that.
Did Kelsey Gardner work in your office?
Yes, she did.
And why was she fired?
She threatened me. She said she had proof that
So you threatened...
I thought it'd make her...
Skip. Did you know she'd never get a loan?
You knew she was never gonna get a loan from them, didn't you?
Who they give money to is out of my hands. I just refer people, that's all.
And collect all the perks paid for and interest by your students.
It's a consultant's fee.
It's a conflict of interest the size
Ooh,
of
again.
Russia, and it's illegal, jackass.
Damn.
How many students are living off ramen thanks to your referrals while you're taking trips to Dubai?
And finally, what happened the last time you spoke?
What happened the last time you spoke with Kelsey?
She came here to tell me she was dropping out, and she said she would go to the police with a file. She was screaming, threatening, out of control, and I was honestly...
How convenient.
Oh, you can see this? Oh yeah. What are you hiding?
Now we're getting somewhere.
I got a package this morning. I think it's from Kelsey.
Ah,
it came by messenger.
It
and
gives you...
Another silver charm.
I'm a
Tell us,
target?
please.
You need to help me. You...
Don't worry. You'll be very safe down at the station.
What?
I'm FBI, Chapman. Did you really think I wasn't going to...
Oh, no.
I kind of hate it when I need to save assholes like you. I'll give Kelsey this much. She had every reason.
Okay, time to relax now. You take it to him real well. Let me go to the station, reveal the book secret, and then go to the crime scene.
That's a lot of blood. What happened? That's the alley where Longmore was killed. This can't just be a coincidence.
Alright. So, let's see how much I remember. Not much. Oh, first things first.
Erathan Avenue. Same street sign that was in my vision.
Anything to say? Like anything new? The door is closed.
The number of charms ended up changing over the course of the episode. It used to be fewer, and then I had to end up adding more, and we had them in different spots, but then it was like, oh, projection is set up to specifically work with 3 inputs. So I had to narrow it down to having them in groups of 2 in there instead of having 6 different spots for each of the charms.
And this is also like a total new way of using projection, because so far you actually had it so that, well, the items were already there. You had to use projection. In this one, we thought, well, what if we actually have to add the items before we do the projection? So it was a mix of synergy and projection.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Let's see. This was violin or guitar? Okay, I'm gonna look at it again. Oh, and I have to do it all the way. Here is the guitar and masks. And this is the violin and the chair test. Okay. Masks.
Erethan Avenue.
You can't move, Kelsey. You can't leave me.
What's wrong with you? What are we even doing here? Oh, put that knife down. You're freaking me out.
You can't leave me. You love me.
I don't. You're a creep and we're through. Get away. Let me go!
You will love me.
Get away. Help. Help.
Won't. Love you. Kelsey! Sing to me. I need to hear your voice. Please, please, Kelsey, please, open your eyes. Perfect.
And this does reuse a lot of scenes and angles that were in some of the original cutscenes from the game We Are Darker that we got the assets from. The alleyway and that shot of a woman bleeding propped up against the dumpster in the alleyway as well. Actually, if you look in the very earliest trailers for Cognition from our Kickstarter video, you'll see some of those in the original form.
Yeah.
And that's actually why one of the reasons we made Kelsey blonde was that so we could use that cutscene without having to change too much.
But we ended up changing a lot, and then it was like...
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have mattered if we changed the hair color.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Joey Gothals, the post office clerk. He's the wise monkey? It isn't Kelsey, but it is all about her. Why the victims were all pushed, then stabbed. But why take the eyes, ears, and tongues from the victims? If the wise monkey is a man, who the hell is the woman who has Sully? What the hell is going on?
Still very interesting. I'm really interested to know or hear some ideas about how did Coppelia know about these killings? How did she get all this information? No, I don't have the items. Oh, I don't need the items anymore, do I?
Kelsey hadn't fallen off.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I don't need them anymore. So now I'm supposed to go to Joey's apartment.
John, you son of a bitch.
Red, you alright?
Whoever's got Sully, they're hurting him. I found his eye.
What? Oh, shit. This bitch is seriously psychotic. What else have you got?
It gets weirder. Kelsey Gardner is dead. She's been dead since she went missing months ago.
You find a body?
No, I had a vision of it.
I believe you, Erica, but look, you're gonna need evidence to back it up from McAdams. Hey, wait a sec, hang on. If she's dead, then who's the wise monkey?
The real wise monkey is a man named Joey Gothals, a post office clerk that I met yesterday. Kelsey used to date him.
Trouble in paradise?
I'll say. She dumped him and he snapped. No idea where the body is yet, though. And here's another twist. It happened in the same alleyway where the hangman was killed.
So, an alley we've been to, a guy you've just met, and the suspect is actually the victim. Next you're gonna tell me dogs and cats are living together. Wait, I thought it was a woman who drugged Sully.
It was.
How do you explain that?
I don't know why or who, but someone is screwing with us, John, and it's pissing me off. I need to find Sully before this gets any worse.
Where are you looking next?
So John calls Erica here, and originally this was part of, she left him a message after she found Sully's eye, and he's finally getting back to her. But we liked keeping the phone call between them, so even though we cut that part out, we just had this being him calling to check in. And she sounds pretty shaken up because she's just learned something very important, but it also highlights kind of one of the problems with her powers and the job she does, because even though she now knows that Kelsey was killed and she's not the wise monkey, she can't yet prove that to anybody. So she is unable to, call in McAdams or anybody else on this yet because, he's just gonna rip into her for wasting their time, having, crazy theories she can't prove, etc., and she's gotten into enough trouble for that at this point.
Yep, so they said she was supposed to call John when she opened the box, but it was supposed to be not be there or busy or whatever. And the beginning of this phone call conversation really looks like it. Hey, I've been looking for you, but you weren't there and couldn't find you.
I've got Gothal's home address. I'm gonna go check it out.
Keep me posted, Red, because I want to catch this scum and nail his balls to the wall.
Get in line. We've still gotta find out who that woman was. Tell Terrence to prioritize anything connected to getting her ID'd.
You got it.
Alright, you got it. Time to go.
I shouldn't leave the charms here. They're evidence.
Oh, now you want to pick them up. That's correct, it is evidence, and you're kind of lacking a lot of it. And this changes from Joey's home, was it? Or something like that? To Wise Monkey Lair. Nice. Okay. I am gonna save as soon as possible.
This is the only door I can find. And until I can prove he's the wise monkey, well, let's say I don't want to deal with McAdams right now. Damn it! How do I get into this place? Oracle? Again? Who the hell is this person? Why do they keep sending these emails?
So when you get back to the scene, you finally get the forwarded message that the Oracle had sent to Sully, and she's showing it to you now, and saying he didn't listen, and she knows that Erica will listen. Of course, you look at the message, and similar to the one that was sent to Davies, it's a little bit cryptic, and it's not exactly helpful, whereas, of course, she could have always just said,
yes,
hey, by the way, this guy's the one you're looking for, and that girl is dead.
I think that Cordelia, the way that Cordelia sees it is, well, I tried once, it just didn't work.
Yep, she tried being direct, and then they put her in jail.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, okay.
One of the things that I think we spent like a crazy amount of time talking about this was, so what time of day is this?
Yep. I think that was when we finally discussed everything is in a perpetual
gloominess.
Gloomy, late afternoon, early twilight, evening-ish time of day. Just very precise. I don't know how we could be more clear.
Yeah.
It's
kind of 12 a.m. p.m.
Which is why there is only a tiny sliver of the sky over on the left side of the screen.
And there's a little bit of
but it was
night.
definitely a question of how much light should be coming in here, and it was kind of like, well, at this point, okay, it's late, it's night, it's evening.
The way they did it here is probably you had to interact with the ladder or something, or maybe it wasn't finished. Okay, so this is I think where you use. No, don't go down. A big mistake. Alright. This is where you use the lockpicks for the first and last time in this episode.
Let's see what's in here.
Yes, let's.
Whoa. This has got to be the most expensive thing in the place.
And use this. No. Am I really supposed
Unlock.
to do this?
Open door. Let me. Fucking fat chance this thing would open from my.
Okay, now I have the
He was obsessed with Kelsey.
possibility.
Maybe
the
this'll
chance.
do it. Twisted, but at least it worked. Portrait of a psychotic serial killer. This place is a profile that practically writes itself.
There's actually another screen that did not change too much from one of the original screens, the concept art. You can see this is very similar. We added some specific items, most notably the jars and trays full of organs. Were not in the original. We've also got just a lot of signs of how Joey is really unhinged and his obsession with art, kind of that he's this weirdly frustrated artist.
There's nothing but some fluid in these. This evidence is too important. I'm not getting anything. Something's not right.
This is also very intriguing to me. Like, why does she get nothing here? What would keep her from?
These are all of Kelsey, but he's... Another cable protector. Another high...
Okay. How do I activate this again?
Can't risk damaging them.
Am I supposed to open
Most of
the
the stuff
tray?
looks like old tools for art.
Remove the tray. Open the big box. Look around.
Is there a medium or... It's handwritten.
Okay.
The victim's organs. What the fuck is this, a trophy wall?
Here we have the shelves, and probably just some of the
Big
grossest things in
reveal.
the entire game. And I feel bad for the artist because
Yeah.
he had to tell them, like, alright, so we need 4 pairs of eyes. Some of them are blue, some of them are brown, and these ones are hazel.
They're all bloody. And
Three
taken
pairs.
out.
They're all bloody because they've all been cut out, unfortunately removed. 3 pairs of ears. Here's the skin color on each of them, and it's a weird thing to be giving notes on. Like, well, this one looks like it could be a little more ragged, or things like that.
It's a good thing that the real FBI didn't intersect our messages,
my
because
God.
otherwise we'd be like, what?
That was all this stuff.
What are these guys going on about?
Yeah.
The organs aren't just trophies. They were for
For this quiz, there were a lot of insets and insets. Again, we've got the tablet, and it has to have a close-up so that you can interact and choose your answers. And then you've got slightly pulled back and looking at the door. You need to be able to look inside the door and see Sully. You need to be able to quickly switch over here to the shelves to be able to interact with the things there. And also we decided to clear out anything unnecessary to the puzzle from the inventory because you were going to have to be doing so much juggling around of those things.
Yeah. There's already a lot of things that have to go in the inventory. I will save here. Yeah, make a separate save actually, because I'm going to fry Sally a little bit.
It's a touchscreen tablet attached to another high-tech. Sully! Jared, I'm here. Holy shit. That's a lethal injection chair. Sully, can you move? The door won't open. Ugh. Shit! Hang on. I'm gonna get you out of there. There's something on the panel. Just hold on, Sully.
The reveal on Sully here is awesome. I love the chair. I had the idea to make it, you've got this test and you have a certain number of potential fail moments before you completely fail this test, and having this lethal injection machine that he's been hooked up to. Mikhail did a lot of design of our creepy machines and traps that we came up with, and he also always did an awesome job.
I was trying to remember. He was the one that came up with like that cross, that very religious symbol.
Yeah, my original thought had just been, he would be laying flat on a bench like they actually use for them, but yeah, making sort of this the religious symbolism. Not that there's really much religion to this moment, but just it's a powerful and
it was a powerful moment.
So again, this supposed to mean you have 3 tries, although it's a lethal injection. I mean, 1 should be enough if it's so lethal.
What is this, a quiz?
This puzzle is probably the best puzzle that you've ever made.
Thank you. I put a lot of work into it because I wanted it to be the best puzzle I've made. I was excited about, okay, just layer this all in, and she has to use her powers a lot and pay a lot of attention to these details, and rewarding the people who were paying very close attention. But also, you know, even if you had forgotten these things over the course of the episode, you have all the information on hand. You can learn everything you need to learn while you're here.
This puzzle used to be a little bit more brutal than it actually is, because there was a timer involved with it.
Oh god, yeah, there was.
We just decided to take off because no.
That was a little too cruel.
Yeah.
So yeah, and not only so we've got these, but then if you get one wrong, then the first injection knocks him out, and then the second one would paralyze him. So that was, you had your quick answer round to get the respirator started. But if you got that third one, then he was done.
Wow, if Cymon was involved, that would have been that would have been interesting. So it would have required people lots of tries, probably. When the darkness falls, yes, it's very important we make it so that the organs do not fall. What is this? I don't know, you tell me. Wait, can you remain inside the testing area? Oh, you cannot exit. Okay. Let's see.
Red light! Shit, that can't be good. Jared! Oh, he's still breathing. Lethal injection, that means the first shot will just knock him out. Second one paralyzes, third one kills. I better not fuck up again or this is going to get bad.
I see, okay. Well... that's amazing. I mean, I can kill him on the first question. Easy peasy.
Fuck! The second shot paralyzes. He won't be able to breathe.
So will soon run out of air and suffocate unless the respirator is still enough to do so. Answer this question within the next 15 seconds. I don't see any time though. Who was the first victim of the wise monkey? Incorrect. Nice.
No. Jared! No! Jared! No! 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 No!
Wow,
I
so
need to act
dramatic.
faster.
With lights turning off and everything. Okay. I don't think I need to show anything else. He gets to live if you fail only twice. So
It's a touchscreen tablet attached to another high-tech lock.
the same,
Press
yeah.
enter to start. I have a bad
The
feeling about
result,
this.
like the effect is the same.
Sully!
Might as well do it, right?
Jared, I'm here! The door won't open. There's something.
The reveal on Sully here is awesome. I
Yep,
love.
I can
What
skip
is
this.
this?
I can skip that
This
as
puzzle.
well. We already got these. Okay, let's see. So Jerry was given the guitar. I remember this much. This was given the masks. Luke was the first guy. So was he given the violin maybe? This story is the DJ who was given the bell. I remember this. Heather was the teacher. So she had the piano. Alright, let's get to see what happens. Hey, I was right.
Green light. That's good. Oh, shit, another question.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Can I save here? Nope. Okay, can I answer without actually investigating?
How many of these are there?
Oh, games is nothing. Okay, so you can skip these parts. The DJ who was smoking a cigarette.
Come on, come on.
HMA is pineapple.
Got it.
Yep.
Configurations? What the hell does that mean?
Well done, Reed. Well done. Okay, learn more about the configurations. Let's say I have. Oh no. I don't remember. So one was Starlet, one was Angel. I think the other one was Lover. And maybe Darling? Let's check. Yeah.
One more down.
Nice. To whom the spare organs belong? Joey.
That was the last one. Sully!
Every time that I had to do it
Hey.
for like playtesting it, it's like, oh my god, this is just so involved, and I could never remember what it was. So every time that I came here, I had to like solve it again, and then eventually I wrote it down.
I think I had to write it down even. I had to write down what the combinations were of the different organs for the jars. I knew what they were, but just clicking through the screens and clicking in all of them took a while. And it was something we had to be very careful with in testing too, because you've got 4 different pairs of eyes in your inventory, and they all look very similar. It's like, all right, make sure that the hotspot labels, once you've identified them, they help you so that it's a little faster.
This whole thing was a
Yeah.
programming nightmare.
Oh, God,
This is one
yeah.
of the things that we gave to Rich. Hey, Rich, this is gonna be your scene.
Make it work.
Make it work, because he's our MacGyver, so we give him the stuff that is really complicated, and we knew that, okay, well, this is gonna be complicated.
Oh my god. Nice. The proof is very curious. Right. Yep. The art team strikes again. Sincerely treating the face of the painkillers. You bet. Okay, so this is pretty easy if you remember the answers. Unfortunately, the game doesn't punish you for that. Otherwise, it takes you some time to figure out all the stuffs and who they belong to and where they belong and all that.
Jared!
Hell, if I'd have known this was all I had to do.
Oh, shut up, you ass. If you ever get kidnapped again, I'm not speaking to you.
Noted. Can you call 911 now?
On it. Yeah, I need an ambulance ASAP for a severely wounded FBI agent. Kelsey was here the whole time while Gothals tried to fix her, but turn her into his own personal masterpiece. If those really belong to Joey Gothals, what the hell is going on? Who's doing this, and how do they know about me? Holy shit.
I swear the Illuminati lives in this building.
You think the government's really got a branch of psychics working for them?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
I kind of believe in some conspiracy theories. Like, for example, I heard that the US government is putting high levels of vinegar in the nation's water supply.
Vinegar. That explains all the douchebags running.
For the fire. Alright, I'm gonna let the credits roll as usual.
Like a million times before, could you tell me all the things you've seen? I've got to let it go, but seems some joker up there knows, and he's just playing with his figurines. All our plans are laid, though I know they'll change, I still hold you tight to me. All these tolls of pain, you always kept things to yourself. Don't need to please nobody else. Ain't that what you used to say? I wasted all that time, got up counting what was mine. Never thanked you for the gifts you gave. All our plans are laid, though I know they'll change, I still hold you tight to me. All these tolls of pain, when it's taken away,
Where are you, Erica? Are you at the Enzon Towers?
Agent Reed, what are you doing here? There will be no further investigation inside the towers.
I'm having a very hard time controlling my visions right now. Davies. Didn't think I'd see you again.
Okay, and that's it for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time.